Hi everyone, Ian here again on a pretty nasty winter's day. It's windy, it's overcast and it's very cold. Not great conditions for flying, but I thought great conditions to put the Mavic Air and the Mavic Pro through their paces, flying into a strong headwind, and what the camera settings look like out of the box when you're flying on a really grim and overcast day. First off, I'm going to start with Mavic Air. As you can see, Ted is in position waiting for it to take off. The plan is very simple. I'm just going to fly straight to an oak tree that's about 500 meters away. I'll make sure I'm at the same altitude as well, so both drones will be done at 30 meters. Let's see before it rains. Teddy! Come on. Okay, start recording. Okay, let's see how we go. So I'm not in sports mode and I am flying at full throttle. One thing that does strike me is the Mavic Air is very fast. Even in high winds, it seems to really fly along. So that's my oak tree, 450 meters. Let's just turn around. Okay, and let's come straight home. Right, so whilst I'm still under the same bank of cloud, I'm going to be testing the Pro, doing exactly the same flight, same height, same camera angle, and we'll see exactly what happens. Ted, stay back. Okay. Okay, so flying off to the oak tree, same altitude, 31 meters, 30 meters. Does seem to be struggling far more than the Air did in flying into the wind. It's a very strong headwind and I'm making sure I'm not in sports mode today. There's no doubt the Mavic Air was much faster. Okay, interesting that it's actually being blown backwards by the wind. So my right thumb is full forward, and yet, yeah, I'm starting to go forward again now. And I'm being blown backwards again. Right, I'm just going to turn around. I didn't want to invoke sports mode because I wanted to keep it similar. So let's just bring the Mavic back. So having looked at the video footage between the two, I have to say, unsurprisingly, there wasn't that much difference in it, I thought. But I thought just to complete the test, I'd try exactly the same flights on a sunnier day. It's still quite a breezy day, but we've got the sun shining. So I'll do exactly the same tests, both with the Pro and the Air, and we'll see how we get on. So first off, let's do the Air again. Okay, aim for that oak tree, off we go. Not in sports mode again. So this is a very good test because it's still windy again, and I really was pretty unimpressed with how the Pro coped with the high winds the other day. I'm going to do the Pro after this, but the Air is ticking along at 8-9 meters per second and going straight to the oak tree. And absolutely no problem getting it that far. So let's just turn the boy around, head straight home. Doesn't he fly? Interesting that going with the wind, he's practically the same speed, 8.8, 8.99 meters per second. Straight back. Okay, hello little pup, down you come. So the Air did fine. Now the turn of the Pro. I'm literally 5 minutes later. It's still quite a windy day. So if the Pro doesn't really handle things too well, I will have to flip it into sports mode. But we'll start off in standard mode and see how we get on. Now just move it, aim it directly for that oak tree right in the centre there, and let's go. Let's see how we get on. So again, the right stick forward. Just starting off better, 5 meters per second, that's good. He's a lot slower. There's no two ways about it, the Pro does not like flying into a strong wind. I can see already he's being blown off course. And he's slowed right down to 2 meters per second. 3 meters. Come on. Having to readjust its path all the time. And we're now down to 1.5 meters per second. I'd say this is very interesting really. I didn't think there was going to be much difference between the Pro and the Air, but it's clear to me that the Pro just does not like flying into a strong wind. This second test is pretty much proving that for me. He's picked up speed again now, he's on 4 meters per second, but there's no two ways about it, the Air was far faster. Okay, got up to 5, let's turn him round and head straight home. There you go, flying with the wind, look at the speed, straight up to 9 meters per second. So I thought what I'll actually do now is to just make sure it can fly into a headwind with sports mode. So I'll flick it into sports mode and see how we get back on doing the same flight one last time. So there's the oak. Let's flick it into sports. Right, let's see how we get on in sports. So he can handle flying into a strong wind when he's in sports mode. He's going between 10 and 12 meters per second. Turn him round. Bring him back. Look at that speed, 16, 17, 18 meters per second. It's So at least he can hold his own when he's in sports mode. I guess really now I'm going to have to do the air quickly in sports mode one last time for a complete test. So it's clear that the Mavic Pro can handle itself and handle high winds if you put it into sports mode, but I must admit I was pretty unimpressed with how it handled the wind without being in sports mode. If you're not used to, if you don't use the intelligent flight modes and you don't use sports mode, there's no doubt that the Pro could catch you out. So in the interest of completeness, let's chuck the air back up in the air one more time, in sports mode this time, and we'll see how it compares. He's buzzing off. Okay, shut up there. Turn the boy around and head back. Okay, 19-20 meters per second. So quite a few comparisons there, but there are some clear differences that we can draw out. The cameras are slightly different. The Air favours a slightly lower ISO, brings out the colours a little bit stronger and has a little bit more contrast. But for me, obviously, the biggest difference is how they handle wind. In sports mode, there really isn't much between it. The Air does beat the Pro marginally, but only by a couple of miles per hour. What really surprises me is how poorly the Pro handles wind when it's in standard mode. Sports mode disables the collision avoidance sensors. There are people that don't want to use sports mode. So I do find it a little bit surprising that the Pro fails to handle a wind that it would otherwise cope with if it was in sports mode. The Air doesn't have that problem at all. The Air seems to handle strong wind without any issue. It maintains its direction and its speed quite happily. So for me, the Air is certainly the better of the two if it's flying in standard mode. Anyway, hopefully you've been able to draw some of your own conclusions from what you've seen today. You know I put these videos out every few weeks. If you like what I do, then hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get notified whenever I put a new one out. As ever, have fun, happy flying.